All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is all about quantum leaps in consciousness. Quantum leaps in consciousness. This is Nancy Rebecca. I am live on YouTube and on Facebook. So, we're going to be talking here about 30 minutes about different concepts around quantum leaps of consciousness, as well as how you can influence your own state of quantum consciousness on your own. So hop on and let me know where you are calling in, tuning in from. Um, Let me know that you're here. Goodness. And what are you drinking this morning? And what part of the world are you tuning in from? Happy Thursday to you too, from Gig Harbor. I love this. Good morning, leapfrogs. Yes, leapfrogs is exactly what we're talking about. Making jumps from one frequency to another without even being aware that there's a movement. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Hello, China from Port Angeles. Hi, Don from Lacey. Yes, my coffee tasted particularly good today. So, all right. So we're talking about quantum leaps in consciousness. I know many of you are just starting to gather, starting to kind of sitting in front of your computers, realizing that that I'm here and I'm already talking. And good morning, Catherine Awai from YouTube. So, uh, yes, energetic wisdom teacher. All right. So again, today I'm talking about taking quantum leaps of consciousness. I'm going to talk about what is quantum. What does quantum mean? It's definitely a new. It's been a word that's been around for a long time, but it's definitely new, especially in the kind of the spiritual talks about consciousness. And I'm Nancy, and I've been talking about transformation and spiritual awakening for 28 years now. I'm kind of an old timer in this. So good morning, Therese Dowd. So, all right, so let me first start by what is a quantum. So that's the first thing, because my guides are always giving me really practical concepts, because I'm pretty practical in everything that I teach. It has to have some kind of format of practicality, real world applications. And I know personally my own body needs to understand what is all this quantum energy physics stuff before it really helps kind of smooth that pathway to making those leaps. And I'll tell you, a couple of weeks ago, our unity consciousness, our collective consciousness made a pretty big leap. So I'm going to be talking about that as well. So a quantum is a quantity of energy. So I really want you to hear this. It is a quantity of energy proportional to the frequency of radiation it represents. And probably a lot of you are going, what? So a quantum, it is a measurable quantity of energy proportional to the frequency of the radiation it represents. So what is your frequency that is being represented here? Do you have a high frequency? Do you have a low frequency? Do you have a frequency somewhere in the middle? And so you're going to be able to make these quantum leaps that are in alignment with the radiating energy that you contain within you. The frequency that you contain within you helps you to make those leaps to other levels. That's why, we can't, we don't normally make like gigantic leaps where one moment you're living here in your own home and the next minute you're on Mars. It's like you're not going to make those types of leaps. So it's proportional to the frequency that you are in. Good morning, Charlene, and hi, Jessica. Water, starting the day with water. Good morning, Samantha from Thailand on YouTube. All right. So a quantum leap in consciousness is part of our current state of transition and transformation at this time. And you may have heard me on the September frequency forecast talking about September, October, November are going to be high frequency states of movement. So we're going to be seeing a lot of that in these next 3 months. So I talked about kind of, time warpish sorts of things, jumping timelines. I'm seeing a lot of you posting between YouTube and Facebook. You're posting about kind of losing time, losing a few minutes, almost feeling kind of this reset. Somebody posted that they lost like a good solid 20 minutes, and somebody said they lost a couple of hours. So that can kind of mess with our brain, but we're going to talk about the energy and just what might be causing that. So according to physics, a quantum leap is a continuous transition between quantum states. So I did go and look under kind of the science aspect on YouTube, and I was able to actually observe on a YouTube video. I highly recommend that you go look it up. These kind of leaps, and it was like this little electron, just 1 minute, it was in one level of consciousness, of frequency, and the next, it was just almost like there wasn't even a passage of time. It just suddenly you look at it and it's in a different frequency. That's what a quantum leap is. A quantum leap is you are in one place in your life and suddenly you're in another place in your life. And I'm going to give a lot of examples about what that is. But this is the part that I really, again, want you to really kind of grab hold of as much as you can. When I was kind of watching this video, they ended up talking about these electrons can move, can jump, literally leap from one frequency to another just in a flash. It's just there it is, there it is, there it is. It's just kind of hopping around. They said like 100,000 times in just a few minutes. 100,000 times in just a few minutes. So the reason why this is so exciting is because whether you're conscious of it or not, many aspects of who you are making these quantum leaps, and you're kind of leaping up and you're leaping down and you're leaping out and you're leaping in. So there's this constant movement of quantum leaps already happening for you. And then it just depends on where you're comfortable, where you're going to settle. So again, I'll give some more examples of that. So let's see. So quantum, a lot of people have explained this for probably the last 15 years about frequencies and quantum levels, dimensions of frequencies. So in terms of radio waves, this is how it was first taught to me about 15 years ago. So I didn't know this. I didn't know that if I was on the AM radio station, I can't hear an FM radio station. So if I'm in the AM frequency, I cannot hear FM. That I literally have to change the radio. I have to click that button to move to the FM dimension. And then I have this wide range of FM radio stations that I can listen to. So let's say now we've moved into high definition, HD. Well, definitely HD didn't exist 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And now for me to get high definition information, I need to shift out of AM, I need to shift out of FM, and I need to shift into HD, high definition. Then you kind of throw in satellite radio, or you throw in 4K, which is this big movement now to really, really, real crystal clear levels of information, of data being able to come in. So imagine you as a spirit, you're kind of functioning at this AM radio station, but what you desire is in the HD realm. You've got to make some shifts to be able to make those leaps. But the beauty of your spirit is always listening to your dreams, listening to your desire. And it's like, oh, what they want is in the HD level. So let's just do about 100,000 leaps in a couple of minutes so they can start to feel that frequency and get ready for the big leap. That's what we're in right now. We've been in it this whole time, but between September, October, and November, we're going to be seeing a lot more leaps in consciousness than we may have experienced before. And the only way that that can happen is because we're ready for it, that we've been making those small little leaps before we get ready for the big jump. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I noticed a big, huge shift in consciousness. So when you shift in consciousness, which is what we're kind of talking about today, that means 1 minute you understood things to be one way, and the next minute you had a completely different understanding. Now, I will often say when people ask me, "What do you believe in, Nancy?" And I said, "Well, I can tell you what I believed in 5 years ago, I don't believe now, or maybe I've modified it a little bit because my knowledge and conscious understanding is expanded in a different way. What I do know is 5 years from now, what I believe now is going to be obsolete because the knowledge level available to me 5 years from now is going to be dramatically different. I have choices. My grocery store of spiritual knowledge is larger, supersized, at other dimensions. And so if I'm at that AM radio station, I'm not going to understand things at the HD level. So those are pretty kind of normal, common ways that quantum leaps and quantum physics has been expressed, is through radio frequencies. So when some of you have heard me tell this story. It was 2007. Spirit came through really strongly, wanted me to write a book about this big consciousness awakening that was on the horizon. I mean, it was a big deal. And so Spirit wanted me to write about this. So I did start writing about it. What I'm aware of is my spirit knew that I had the capacity to make a gigantic leap in consciousness, that I had the capacity to understand higher states of consciousness. But what didn't believe that I had the capacity to move into higher states of consciousness? My doubt, my insecurity, my anxieties, my depression, my non-belief in myself, or my non-faith that Spirit was really telling me something that was true. So here we are, fast forward now in the year 2022, and here we are in these rapid states of consciousness. My spirit wanted me to make that leap. I couldn't do it. How many of you have known, if you just kind of think back over your life, where your spirit knew you were ready to make a big, gigantic leap in your life, but you didn't think you were worthy, didn't think you were capable, didn't think you were smart enough? Or the biggest reason that really impacts a lot of people is, I don't want my life to change. I don't want to upset my relationships. I don't want to upset my family. I want everybody to come with me. I want them to raise in consciousness too. When we're all ready, we'll go. So that's a big one. A lot of us, I think, can stay back because we don't want to leave anybody behind. But what I want to tell you is, as a human being, you can be in HD consciousness and still have a dinner party and enjoy your company with people in the AM realm, the FN realm, the satellite realm, the 4K realm. You can still socialize because your physical body helps you adapt in this 3D world. So you're not leaving anybody behind. You just have access to more books, right? You just have access to more books. So when my spirit knew I needed to make another leap in consciousness was when I was about 20 years old, and I was working in human resources. One of the nurses at the hospital came up. She said, "You would make a fantastic nurse." And I was like, "There's no way." I thought I wasn't college material. So here is Spirit wanting me to make a leap in consciousness of being a nurse. But there was me saying, "Oh no, I'm not smart enough," or "Oh, I couldn't do that," or "Well, that'd be too hard," or whatever. I'm a nurse now. So that person, kind of spirit led, kind of led me to believing in the fact that I could be a nurse. Now, let me tell you another nursing story quickly. So I have an associate's degree in nursing. Even though I had to go to 4 years at the associate community college level, they still call it a 2-year nursing degree. Now, when you are, at least back then, when you were an associate degree nursing, you could never move into management because that required, see, that's a social belief system. That's a belief system we're programmed to believe. You will never be able to be a manager. You have to have a bachelor's degree or master's or doctorate level nursing. So that's okay. I was totally happy being what's called a floor nurse. I was very happy with that. Now my spirit comes along and says, now, I never heard this from my spirit, and this was long before I had my psychic awakening, but I got a phone call from another hospital, and they said, we want you to come in. We want to talk to you. The director of nurses sat me down and said, I want to hire you to be the assistant director of nursing. I want to hire you, Nancy, to be the assistant director of nursing. And I said, but I only have a 2-year college degree. And what the director of nursing said, but your people skills we can't teach to others. Enough college degrees under your belt in the world does not teach you how to be relatable to people. And we need a people person in this position. So even though it was way outside my quantum radiation realm, and after talking to 10 friends saying, oh my gosh, should I do this? I made that quantum leap. But what happened when I made that quantum leap was I went from being a floor nurse to suddenly needing to be a manager, an assistant director. I needed to learn how to manage an entire hospital of nurses. I was a great problem solver and I really enjoyed it and I really had fun, but my learning curve was very steep. However, there were other nurses there that had bachelor's degrees, had master's degrees, had doctorate degrees who felt like my little Tacoma Community College degree was that I didn't belong in that quantum realm. They believed I had not earned my place in the quantum realm. So I'm telling you this because it has nothing to do with third dimensional thinking. If your frequency, if your light is ready for that, your spirit's going to move you into that position. But what did I do? This was a long time ago. I probably wasn't even 30 years old yet. I believed them. I thought, oh, I don't belong in this quantum realm because I don't have higher education. So I'm going to go back to my quantum realm that I belong in. So did I listen to my spirit? No. Did I listen to other people who had high frequencies and who could see my abilities? No. I listened to the naysayers. I listened to the ones, I let them be my ultimate authority. So I share this with you because we don't have time for this now. We need to make these quantum leaps and we need to start believing, trusting, and having faith that we belong there. And shake it off, just like a dog shakes off water. It's like shake off feeling those inadequacies so that you can remain in those quantum realms. So I asked Spirit, how do I explain this? How do I explain this? So Spirit told me, explain it in terms of living in a house. So you're living in the house that you're living in, whatever it is. It can be a little, just small little 800 square foot house where you live with your family and you have barbecues in the backyard you have block parties with the neighbors. And then suddenly, boom, you shift and suddenly here in the United States, you're in the White House. Suddenly you're in the White House. And in that White House, now all of a sudden you're looking around and it's like, oh, wow, I'm where the president lives. Oh, wow, suddenly I have access to all the historical information of the United States. Suddenly you have all this access to top secret information. And you're like, oh my gosh, I hope nobody sees me because I don't belong here. So I'm sharing this with you because this is what's happening. We're starting to make these big leaps and we think, oh, we don't belong here. And our radiated energy levels can drop back down to our little house. And there's nothing wrong with that frequency. You can be in a 4K satellite frequency and live in your block party neighborhood. But Spirit's trying to explain this not literally in a house, but just where suddenly you have access to higher spiritual divine knowledge. And you can get overwhelmed and say, oh, I'm going to back out of here because I don't think I belong here. Or what Spirit said, you can make a leap and all of a sudden you're at NASA, you're around all these astronauts and top level scientists. And it's like, wow, I couldn't even pass basic math. What am I doing here? And then it's like, boom, you can just shift back down again. So I'm explaining this because we are making these quantum leaps. Your spirit knows when you're ready for another level. But again, your body's mind and second guessing and non-belief in you can totally drag you back down again. And then who else can drag you back down? You can have others that say, just like me as the assistant director of nursing, it's like, girlfriend, you might think you belong here, but you don't. You only have a 2-year degree. We've gone to school forever. We applied for that job. How did you get that job over us? So it's like, yeah, you can listen to other people that say you don't belong here. This is why your spiritual connection with your higher self is more important than anything else in the world right now. You need to listen to your spirit that says you do belong here and you can do these things and more. So I'll let you remember who said that. You can do these things and more. So this is where we need to be believing. But what is this consciousness, kind of collective consciousness? Right now, we have the entire world of humanity just doesn't want to fight anymore. We're all tired of fighting. We're all tired of corruption. We're tired of politicians not being straightforward and honest. We're tired of not knowing. We all want peace. We all want to really care and have kind people around us. We want to have people that can laugh. So that's that greater consciousness that's happening. So when Spirit told me 2 weeks ago, we made a big leap, it's like that quantum leap that we made was in a frequency of desire that the whole world wished for. And enough of those people made that leap, were making that leap, where the, I don't know, what do you call, a radiant illumination or magnetism or whatever it was, kind of pulled a lot of us up to that level. So that's what you're being asked to do. You're being asked right now to keep your frequency, focusing on what you want. What quantum leap do you want the world to make? And you just keep dreaming of that and wishing for that and imagining that, keeping tapped into those higher frequencies until we're able to make that big shift again. And those big shifts are going to be happening more often. So let's say back in 1950 or 1950, maybe some of the shifts were slower. Every 6 years, there might be a shift. Right now, we can be experiencing shifts every single day. So you wonder why you're feeling ascension symptoms magnified? That's why. You wonder why it's like, wow, I just need things to settle. And it's like, no, that's your body talking. Your spirit saying, no, you don't need things to settle. You need to grow and expand because you'll be given what? An extra level of knowledge to cope with what's happening in the world. So you definitely want those higher states of consciousness. Okay, we're going to do a meditation here. And in this meditation, we're just going to play with leaping from different house to different house. Now, you can leap from a house here in Tacoma, Washington, to a house in South America, Peru, in the Andes. You can leap into the White House or NASA. You can leap into the house that's under the water for mermaids and mermen. I mean, You can leap into a house that's on the moon, or maybe an Orion constellation on Sirius. But you're going to leap in conscious states and see how that feels in the body, and let go of any discomfort, and then leap back. So we're just going to play with leaping, or as someone said, leapfrogging now. So go ahead and close your eyes. I can feel the excitement. It's exciting. Close your eyes, turn within, and take just a moment to say hello to your body, and talk to your body just a little bit about these quantum leaps. And no matter how many quantum leaps you make, you're still going to take care of your body. You promise to support your body through them. Now remember, your body in the 3D realm likes routine, doesn't like things to change much, wants things to stay the same, wants to be comfortable, stay in the comfort zone. Now let's make this leap in consciousness of understanding that your spirit absolutely loves adventure, loves change, loves to try and explore new things. So tell your spirit right now that you're just going to play, be imaginative, or pretend, if that's a better word for you, that you can be conscious of quantum leaps in this meditation while you're playing around with it. Now imagine the consciousness that you are in right now. Just kind of pretend that you are in a conscious level. You are in a quantum level. You are a packet of quantum energy. When you make a quantum leap, it's not a movement. It's not like walking to your neighbor's house. It's literally a leap where suddenly you're in your neighbor's house. So right now, ask your spirit to help you make a leap in consciousness to to a destination, just so that you can feel into it. You're going to leap into another frequency, another destination. How does the frequency feel in this new destination? And what do you need to let go of right now to feel comfortable in that new quantum frequency? Now make another leap. Ask your spirit to help you make another quantum leap and go to another, just suddenly appear in another destination. And again, do the same here. Feel and experience the new quantum level of knowledge available to you at this new destination. What do you need to let go of to feel comfortable there? Fantastic. Wow, you all are letting go of a lot of old frequency patterns, beliefs, thinking. Just let it go. Just let it drop, drop, drop out of your aura. Now let's take advantage of our group consciousness that we're a part of here on this live call, but also there will be thousands of people who will watch this teaching. So we'll be a part of that consciousness. Where do you want to be in the quantum field? You know, where do you desire? Do you want to go to school? Are you wishing for a relationship? Are you wanting to change jobs? Do you want to live in a different place? Do you want to have be more aligned with your true, authentic personality? So whatever it is that you dream, desire, and wish for, allow yourself to fully experience that quantum frequency of what you dream and desire. Imagine, pretend, and play. Continue to let go of old frequencies that may try to pull you back to another dimension. Let yourself know, I belong here in this frequency. I belong here in this place that you're dreaming and you're desiring. Make that statement. Let your body know loud and clear, I belong here, right in the middle of my dreams and desires, so that I can manifest that as truth. And let's just take about 30 seconds to dream, desire a frequency for the world, for our unity consciousness, community consciousness. What do you desire for the world? And feel into that potential of that frequency. All right. Thank your body, thank your spirit, thank the higher knowledge of the universe, of the divine levels. of your guides and angels that may be influencing the higher states of consciousness or helping you to rise to those. Just have a lot of gratitude, and whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. As you're coming back, I do request that after I go off this live call, that you do take the time. I really appreciate it when you take the time to write in the comments section what your experience was like. So I really appreciate that. But Spirit just wants me to explain one other thing. That spiritually, I know there's many of you listening to this call. You're tuning in to this talk, and that you've been a spiritual seeker all of your life, and that you've taken lots of classes, and you've practiced and had this devotional practice, and that you really can understand many high level spiritual concepts. But just because you've been studying it a long time does not mean that some other new spiritual seeker doesn't have the same knowledge as you. They can literally make a leap into higher states of consciousness above and beyond what you will ever potentially reach in your lifetime. And we need to make room for all the new frequencies that are coming in. And the example, I think you heard me talk about this last week, where my grandson, who's 14, is talking about not deja vu, but kind of prophecy, and that he has these several times a day where he can see what's happening for him tomorrow or the world, a year from now, that he's having deja vu and prophetic moments. And that he's making these enormous leaps in consciousness. It's like, wow, I wasn't thinking things like that when I was 14 years old. So Spirit's always reminding us that no matter how much you've studied, to please keep your door open for those who are kind of passing us on the road, that they're inspiring us to keep moving forward, that we don't try to hold them back because they're not certified in something or they haven't studied enough time in something. Remember, just because I have an associate's degree doesn't mean that those who have a bachelor, master's, or doctorate degree can hold me back because I didn't have those higher states of consciousness. So that's all that Spirit is asking, is to try to understand quantum physics, quantum leaps, quantum frequencies are about your capacity to make those movements. It's not about all the initials behind your name. So anyway, that is it for today. I will, don't forget to sign up for the group reading. Remember the fall equinox group reading, we're going to shift some big energy to make these quantum leaps much easier to transition. Also, I'm going to be, by this time next week, at Phenomicon, which is all about extraterrestrials and paranormal, and I've never gone to a conference like this, so I'm actually really looking forward to it. So I will be tuning in next week from Utah, Vernal, Utah. So I look forward to sharing with you my experiences there. All right, everyone, have an awesome Labor Day weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.